Alright, let's do this thing. Alright, first I'm going to talk briefly about some things I watched when I finally got my power back on. Yay, rolling blackouts. And then I'm going to call new topic. The first, uh, international gaming, or making your game for an international audience. I've got some experience with this from my commercial side of things. The most common is called EFIGS, which stands for English, French, Italian, German, and Spanish. And basically what you're going to want to do, if you want to pursue this, which you probably should, is to first split out all of your strings into a text file. Don't have any hard-coded strings in your code. And the easier that text file is for humans to read, the better. Secondly, make sure your font system supports all of the wonky characters, that Italian and German and Spanish require, and French. But not English, because our characters aren't wonky. They're the right characters. Once you've done that, you're going to need to find a translation house. Now, typically they work by the word. So you're going to want to, look at how much text you've got and find out exactly how much it's going to be to get it translated. So you send your text to the translation house, and if they're a good translation house, you will then get a lot of questions back about what this means, what the context of this is, etc., etc., etc. If you're dealing with a bad translation house, they will simply translate it directly word for word into the language that you're asking for and then send it back to you. Fortunately, on Hit and Myth, we were working with a good translation house. Our writer, Wim McLaughlin, peppered the script with puns and jokes and Star Wars references and Ghostbusters references and Monty Python references, and the translators just went crazy with all this stuff. They actually enjoyed it because it was a chance for them to kind of stretch, and a lot of the jokes got changed completely in the other versions, simply because there wouldn't have been a point of reference. So we had a good translation house on that game, but then you get the Excel spreadsheet back that has all the strings in it translated into the various languages, and now you must put that back into your game. Fortunately, if your string format is simple, the format of the text file that you had all your strings in is simple, this isn't that hard. But then you have to go through the game and check every string, because if you don't check a string, that will be the one that runs out of its text box or off the screen or breaks your font handling procedure if you're using bitmap fonts. It just looks unprofessional. Then you ship your game, and you may be thinking, wait a minute, I don't know what any of this stuff means. I'm shipping my game full of text that I don't know what it means? Yes, you are. You're trusting the translation house to have done their job correctly, and that's all you can do unless you're willing to learn all of these languages yourself. The end result will typically be a game that appeals more to the people who are playing it in their native language. Even if some of the stuff is wrong, that initial, oh wow, I'm an Italian and it's an Italian thing will, go a long way even if some stuff is mistranslated or doesn't make sense. I mean, we put up with poor translations all the time. This man are sick. You spoony bard. Was that my boy? Uh, yes, that was my boy. Can you watch it downstairs?
Sure.
Okay, that should be okay.
Okay.
Shine Get. And we just put up with it because, we've got most of it. And that's all that really matters. Actually, now that I think about it, I think they changed Shine Get. Anyway, it doesn't matter. Um, the fact that we could figure out most of it is all that was necessary, and it's true for anybody. Um, if you want to get into Asian languages, you're going to have to convert all of your code to Unicode. The translation will be more expensive, and it'll be much more difficult for you to make sure everything looks right on the screen. But it opens up new markets for you. This was why if you played a game made in England or Europe, especially in the mid-90s, there just wouldn't be much text in the game. Most everything would be done with symbols. I know Pekka recently mentioned that not all the symbols are as international as they might seem, but Dungeon Keeper, for instance, the original Dungeon Keeper, had it had a lot of text, but it was an internationalized version, and so the amount of text was kept to the minimum it could be. Space Hulk had as little text as it could, to the point of the game asking you, "Are you sure?" when you weren't sure about what you were sure of doing. And one of those things was deleting your campaign and starting over. Yeah, that happened to me. Are you sure? Yeah, I guess. Oh no! All those Tyranids! I must fight again! Anywho, that's the basics of internationalizing your game. Make sure your font supports it. Get all the strings into one place. Find a translation house. Put all the strings back into place. Make sure everything looks okay on the screen, because that's all you're going to be able to do. And ship it. Mike Kasperzak, crunching. See, if you're doing it yourself, it's not crunching. It's called the zone. And getting into the zone and staying in the zone for as long as you can makes you incredibly, my brain wants to say profitable. That's not the word. But you know what I mean. You get a lot done. You can't really force the zone. Crunching is trying to force the zone. You're all staying, 4 hours late tonight. Yeah, well, the odds are good that you're not getting, 12 hours of work out of us. Productive. That was the word I was looking for. So when you do it yourself, it's not crunching. It's called the zone. And it's a good thing, because you can stop whenever you want. When they're holding a paycheck over your head, it's a bad thing, because you start to become resentful, you're not as productive as you could be, etc., etc., etc. So, enough about that. Now I am calling new Topic, 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 topic. Art. Art is my nemesis. Art plagues everything about everything that I'm doing. Um, I was able to find a musician for an aria who gave me absolutely fantastic music for what I would consider a pittance. I couldn't believe it when he quoted me what he quoted me. In fact, I ended up paying him double because I felt like I was ripping him off. Art, on the other hand, incredibly expensive. Just getting a tile sheet out of somebody, they want hundreds of dollars. Um, so I guess, and people who can do more than one discipline piss me the hell off. I suppose I technically can do more than one discipline because I can program and I can design. But people who can program and design and do music and do art, I don't wish them any ill. I wish I had their skill. Ooh, that rhymed. I'm a poet, and you didn't know it. So, the new topic is art. How do you get it? If you can't get it and you need to make it, how do you make it? And I'm calling Hamumu out because, he does all his own art. And it's cute and it works. And I need art that's cute and works. But I can't seem to do it. Whenever I go into paint.net and try and draw something, it always looks awful. So Hamumu, how do you do your art? You've already mentioned that saturated colors are bad, and I have taken that to heart and desaturated every bit of color that I have for some reason. But in general, guys, where do you get your art? Because that's the big thing for me. You can't post screenshots until you've got art. You do not post screenshots with temp art. You don't do it. Blizzard learned this the hard way with StarCraft. They were prototyping their stuff using the Warcraft 2 engine, and they made the mistake of showing those screenshots, and everybody said, "Oh, it's just Warcraft in space, and it's all purple." Which, of course, was a far cry from the game we actually got. But Blizzard had to do damage control on that. No, that's not what the game is going to look like. This is an alpha. In my experience, I tend to, while I'm writing games, use temp art. I use sprites that I've ripped from other games and tiles that I've ripped from other games, but I can't make screenshots out of that. I can't make trailers out of that. The art is really, really important, but I just can't seem to get it. Hi, sweetie.
Hi, my mom said I can actually, sleep in here.
Alright, well, give me just a second. I'll wrap this up and you can go to sleep, okay?
Okay. It's okay if I can stay right here.
Can you be quiet?
Yes.
Okay. Alright, so that's the topic. The topic is art. How do you get it? How do you make it? And the fact that you can't do any real marketing until you've got it. So that's the topic. Thank you for listening. I know this is way over length. I just hope that, people can actually make it to the end of this. Jewel, stop that. Alright, bye guys. And I'll be around more now that the power is back on.
Bye, world.
Say it in the microphone.
Bye, world.